Hello everyone, this is Phil, Linux Mint Forum member PhD 21. Today I'm creating a little tutorial on a wonderful screen capture print screen program called Ksnip, K-S-N-I-P. All versions of Linux Mint, Cinnamon, Mate, KDE, XFCE, all come with a screen capture print screen program, but they do not have the ability to edit the image. There are other screen capture programs available for Linux, and a whole bunch of various image editors. But it's really convenient to have a screen capture program that can also edit the image, and provide basic, painter functions. And Ksnip is being actively maintained and updated. And one of the questions that popped up in the forum is how to add ellipses, circles, and rectangles to, PNG screenshots, image screenshots, whether it's PNG, JPEG, whatever. So I can answer that at the same time, provide a brief tutorial on how to install and how to use some of the features of the wonderful Ksnip screen capture program. If you search the internet for Ksnip, you will see links to the GitHub webpage where you can download Ksnip and install it in your Linux Mint system. The developer has been superb with maintaining and updating and improving this program. And people can request new features and comment on the application through the GitHub account. And I will provide a link to that on the YouTube webpage where I post the video, this tutorial. This also has the ability to upload images to the Imgur Imager image hosting website, either anonymously or directly right to your specific account. And most screen capture programs cannot do that, but Ksnip can. It's important to have a good screen capture program, which is why Linux Mint provides one in all editions and versions, so that you can take a picture of your screen and send it to, upload it to the forum, the Linux Mint forum, or some other forum, or for friends, families, whatever, to explain something to them. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Or even if you're creating a tutorial for yourself, maybe you're using the wonderful Cherry Tree Notes application and you're making notes with pictures on how to use different functions of, Linux Mint. So now I'm going to start by showing you, the Linux Mint, Ksnip program. I'm already at their webpage, which is github.com/Damir Perobic /Ksnip. And if you go there, it says Ksnip is a Qt-based Linux screenshot tool that provides many annotation features for your screenshots. It can also open existing images, and then you can edit them to add text and or highlight certain features. Now, if you go to this web page and you scroll down, it describes the various features, and there's quite a few of them. One of my favorite features, besides being able to highlight certain sections of the screen, is that you can use arrows with numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, which really helps to identify certain portions of the screen and what you're trying to convey. It also has the ability to, if you make a mistake while numbering, you can undo that and tell it to start where it left off. And I don't know of any screen capture program that can do that, but this can. There are various methods for installing Ksnip. One of the easiest is called an app image package, which is all the programs and supporting libraries for the, Ksnip to run properly are combined into a self-contained file called an app image file. You can also download their source code and compile it and install it, which is also pretty easy, and I have instructions on that on the Linux Mint website, which I will also provide a link to. Now, if you scroll down the thing, it talks about the app image. There's a link there. In order to use app images, just download them from here, and that here is a link. It's highlighted in blue, underlined, and if you right-click that and open it in a new tab, it comes up with releases. And the very first item on that is an app image file. If you click that, you can save that, and normally you would save that to your downloads folder. And I just did that. Now, if you bring up your file manager and you go to your downloads folder, you will see a new file called Ksnip and .appimage. With all app image files, it's a good idea to make sure you have permission to run it. So if you right-click the file and select Properties, you can click the Permissions tab and make sure that you can execute the program. Just click Execute. And then click Close. I prefer not to leave programs that I'm going to use that are installed in a non-traditional Linux method into a folder underneath my home folder, instead of leaving it in the downloads folder. So if you right-click the home folder and open that in a new tab in your file manager, I have a folder that I create called Apps, and in that I put any program, any software that is installed in a non-traditional method, and that way I can keep track of what they are, and that includes various app image files, Java programs and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the Ksnip app image file, just right click, copy, into my home apps folder. And then when I create a desktop shortcut or a menu item, it'll be available there. Now I've already checked the permission, so I know I can run it. Now I am using Linux Mint 18.3, the newest version of Cinnamon, for this tutorial. And it is extremely easy to create a desktop shortcut to a program. You can just right-click your desktop and select Create a New Launcher here. And in the name, type in Ksnip. And then where it says Command, browse to where you downloaded and and moved the software you're interested in, and then just click that and hit OK, and then click OK again. Now it pops up, would you like to add this launcher to the menu also? It will be placed in the other category initially. I would say yes to that. Now if you look on the desktop, there's an icon now for Ksnip. Now if you also go to other, if you click the menu key, and then go to the category other, you can see that Ksnip was also added there. And you can move that. You can edit this menu if you want to. You can also make Ksnip the default screen capture or print screen program, or you can assign it a different shortcut key. I like to use the pause break key on the keyboard because I don't use that for anything else. If you want to keep the default screen capture program and use Ksnip, then pick a different key, like the pause break key. Now, if you click the system settings, which is available in the menu, and you go to keyboard and click that, click the tab that says shortcuts, click custom shortcuts, and then at the bottom click add custom shortcut. For the name, type in Ksnip. You can type whatever you want, but Ksnip's a good one. And then to the right of command, click the button there to browse to where it is, to where you have the app image file, and click OK. And then just click Add. Now I want to assign a key to that. So I click the first, towards the bottom of the screen, it says Keyboard Bindings, and it says click to set a new accelerator key. That just means pick a new shortcut key. If you make a mistake, hit escape, or if there's one already there and you want to change it, press the backspace. As you can see, it says that. There's a little balloon pop-up information window that pops up and shows you that. Right now it's unassigned, but if I click that and double click that, it now says pick an accelerator. Now if I hit the print screen key, I can use that, but it comes up and it knows that that key is already assigned. It says this key combination, print, is currently used by a different screenshot program. If you continue, the combination will be assigned to Ksnip. Do I want to continue this? I could say yes or no. Now in this case I'm going to say no because I want it to assign to the pause print screen key, to the pause break key. And as you can see, it changed it to pause. Okay. That's how simple it is. Now whenever I hit the pause key, I can it'll pop up Ksnip, a screen capture program. I could have used the print screen key and made it the default system print screen application. And right now I'm going to hit the print screen key to bring up Ksnip. Now I normally use Linux Mint KDE. And you may have to log out and log back in for a shortcut key to take. right now I hit the print screen key. I hit the pause key, and it should have brought up Ksnip right now. So I probably would have to log out and log back in, but because I'm doing this video tutorial, I'm not going to do that right at the moment. I just quickly changed it to the print screen key to see if that would make a difference. Anyway, you could just click Ksnip as well. I know if you logged out and logged back in or rebooted, that the shortcuts, the new shortcuts that you take would take. Now here's Ksnip, it just came up. And this is version, if you click Help and then About, and then click Version, this is version 1.50 Alpha, which is their newest version. And as you can see, it took a whole screenshot. Now my screen resolution is 1440 by 900. Yours would probably be larger on newer systems. Now, if you go to Options and click Settings, there are various application settings, general settings. Then there's do you want Ksnip when you hit the print screen key or the the pause key, whatever key you chose, to automatically capture a screenshot at the startup or not? I want it to, so I check that. And there are various other options, like prompt to save the image before exiting, which is a good one. Then there's an image grabber setting, which do you want to capture the mouse? I usually do. Do you want to show the snipping cursor ruler? I usually would like to see that. And do you want to show the cursor position information? I say yes to all those, so I check all those. It's also nice to have a delay before it actually takes the screenshot. Because if you're going to take a screenshot of, let's say, a menu item or a pop-up menu, the system won't let you do that unless you have a delay. Usually I use somewhere between 3 and 10 seconds, or in this case I'm using 7 seconds. And that gives me a little bit of time to get to where I want to take the screenshot. And then there's an Imgur, Imgur uploader. And this, of course, allows you to upload images directly to your Imgur, your Imgur account, or you can just do an anonymous one. Now there's a process to set that up, and it's described on the Ksnip website if you click Wiki and then Imgur, and it's pretty simple. And there's various advantages to doing that, and I'll cover that in a moment. And then there's the painter settings. All that's are already set. You can change them if you want to, but that's usually set. And then you just click OK. Now, I used to use, like most people, I would have to use 2 programs. I help out a lot on the Linux Mint forum, so I take a lot of screenshots. And normally I would have to use 2 programs, a print screen program, a screen capture program, to take the image. Then I would have to edit the image, which means I'd have to use an image editing program like GIMP, Pinta, Color Paint, My Paint, there's various kinds. to edit the image in various ways. Whether I want to draw, to highlight certain areas using circles, ellipses, and rectangles, or draw arrows and stuff like that. Or if I want to upload an image directly to a website like the Linux Mint forums, I would have to shrink the image, because the Linux Mint forums, like a lot of other forums, they have a image size restriction, limitation. The image has to be less than 200 kilobytes. That's much less, much smaller than the typical screenshot of your desktop. So you would have to shrink the image in order for that to happen. Now, Ksnip has that built in. I can click Edit, Scale, and change it from 100%, in my case, to like 80%. Click OK. And I know that will reduce on my system, with my current screen resolution, to a size that's small enough that I can upload it directly to the Linux Mint forums when I'm posting or replying by clicking the attachment tab at the bottom, and it normally works. And you can adjust that. I mean, if you may have to lower it to 50% or 60 or 70% or some combination there. For me, it happens to be close to 80%. And that's a super convenient thing to be able to do this, to do all of it within one program. I can also open, I can click File, Open, and open different images. And like most screen capture programs, you can select the entire desktop, or a particular area, or just a particular window, the active window of, of a browser or whatever happens to be running, or the current screen. Now, obviously, I took a screenshot of my desktop, and if I wanted a different one, I could just click New and pick a different one. Now, this has a lot of convenient tools, and they're accessible by, next to, on the toolbar, the second item from the far right are the various tools. There's a pen, there's a marker, there's a rectangle, there's an ellipse, circle, lines, arrows, text, numbers. You can erase, you can select, and then the settings for each of those. And if you click that, it's got a color palette, the size, of the thickness of the borders around the circles or rectangles, or the size of the arrows, the different tools, and you can change the colors the way you want, and the options for each tool, the painter tools, varies depending on the tool. If I wanted to add some text, I could click Text. Then I could say pick a color, and I could pick the size. Okay, I'm going to pick a color. I'm going to change the size to, like 14. And then I could just click somewhere and start typing. Linux Mint 18.3 cinnamon. And I can move. You can move that too. By clicking the selection tool, you can move that around. You can undo it if you want to. Edit, undo, you can use the shortcut key, Control-C, to undo. Now, let's say you wanted to, like one of the posts said, well, how can I draw a rectangle? Okay, well, click rectangle, pick a color, like red, okay, and then pick something I want to highlight. And I just draw it, highlighting this display there, If you want to cover something up that you don't want somebody else to see, like, you know, your email address or a phone number or something like that too, you could click on the settings for whatever tool you're using and click solid fill, and it will block or cover up whatever area you're using. And I'll show you that right now. I'm going to click the gray color for this one. I'm going to click solid fill, and then I'm going to go over here and just cover some text up. That's how simple that is. And you can do that, you know, pretty easily now. And you can undo it. Boom. Okay. Now, one of the other features that I really like, and if for some reason you don't see all the screen that you want, just click the maximize button and then click that same button again, and then you can scroll up and down. Now, this arrow function is just wonderful, especially like if you're like me and you're teaching people something. I can use that to point to different objects. I can change the colors, the size of the arrows. I can add numbers, you know, like 1, all of which I can change. Now, let's say you accidentally clicked a different numbers, and you're like, oh, I wanted to change that. Well, I can click undo. But now if I click the number again, it remembered where it was. And right now it's showing 6, and I want that to actually be 3. So I can click undo. Then I can click the toolbox for the numbers, and I can reset its starting number. That's a feature I have not seen in any other screen capture program. So I'm going to change it to 3. Now I can click the arrow again, and boom. I mean, that is really convenient. And so those are just some of the features. That you can do. There's, an ellipse circle with Ksnip. And I hope that this was informative enough for all of you to install and give this wonderful Ksnip program a try. Have a great day.